All right, let's start today. Let's continue from where we have left yesterday. So yesterday we were discussing right about how what is Docker's form. I mean, just an introduction we have seen. Today we'll set up that Docker's form and everything. How what is the cluster? How we set it up? Blah 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 and all these things. You can see on screen still, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's. Yep, Docker is there. So I have two machines currently. I have two machines. So what I'm doing is as I told you, Docker Swarm is a cluster, right? So mix multiple machines together, multiple systems together. So in that case, I have two machines. So out of that, these two will act as a cluster together. So, but first we have to decide within this cluster, or let's say within the group, let's say there is a group or there is a team, there should be a leader, right? There should be a captain or a leader who maintains that, or who manages the team. Similarly here also, just like Ansible master and Ansible node, or Jenkins master, Jenkins node, there is a master, there are nodes, right? Which will control everything. Similarly here also in Docker Swarm, we should choose a master and the nodes, what whoever the other nodes, workers we call it, or simply. So I choose this server as a master. That's why I logged in. So now, what all we have to do is just run one command. That's it. So I'm in master now. In master, I have to initialize the cluster. Initialize the cluster. Docker swarm init hyphen hyphen advertise address. Not or I'll tell you what is that. So this is the command generally we use. So what happens is we are initializing the cluster. We are initializing the cluster. So now it's like we're activating it. The cluster functionality is by default comes when you install Docker, Docker service, but it's deactivated by default. So we're just activating it. Okay, this is fine, Doctor Edit. What is this then? Hyphen hyphen advertise. This one is we are telling that make this IP address as default for Docker cluster, Docker manager. Use this IP address. Of course, this is IP address of the server. Even if you don't give it, use it, the same IP address, but just give for safe side. That's it. Now, if you click enter, let's see what happens. That's it. It's done. Swarm initialized current node, blah 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 is now a manager. See, manager or leader or both are fine. It's fine. I mean manager now. Now see, to add a worker to this swarm, run the following command. It means if you want to now the master is ready now. Let's master is ready. Now if you want to add a worker to this cluster, a worker to this means a node to this, just like let's say we want to add Jenkins, a node to Jenkins. Usually what we do usually, we just simply set up that, right? Or if let's say we want to set up Ansible node, what we do? Simply we enable SSH and we add an inventory file. By default, it will add. Similarly here also, it gave you one command, this Docker Swarm join command. So if you execute that, this machine, the whatever the node we have, will join the cluster. Got it? As of now, okay, Docker is not there. Let's install, it's fine. So as of now, what happens is the cluster is activated. The Docker Swarm cluster is activated. But no servers are present in that. Only one server, which where the manager, wherever whatever we have added, That is only one present. Now we want to add this one to the cluster. So what we have to do, the command what it gave, we need to execute that. Before executing, it's showing, see, the IP address, whatever we have gave, and some port number 2377. This is for cluster communication. So we need to allow the port first. So there are few ports. First thing is through it 2377. What this will do is like a communication from master, sorry, the manager to nodes, all the nodes. Next thing is 7946. This is used for communication among the nodes, between the nodes, not between the master, between the nodes. And one more thing, 4789, 4789. This, sorry, 4789. This is for network. Remember when we were discussing Docker network, we discussed about bridge network, and we discussed about what else? Host network. We discussed about a none network, right? But I told one more thing. There is something called overlay network. There is something called overlay network, which will be used for communicating between multiple hosts, multiple Docker host. Correct? Sorry. Yeah. The port 277, which will be used to communicate multiple hosts. So by now, by default, I told that we'll discuss it later like that. By default, what I did is we enable the swarm, right? When we enable the swarm, it will create an overlay network by default. See, the name is ingress overlay network scope swarm. So what happens is this overlay network, generally what it will do, it will establish a communication between uh, two Docker hosts. Of course, now in Swarm we have multiple Docker hosts, right? Not just one. We have multiple systems because it's a cluster. So overlay network is required. You don't need to set it up. By default, it will take it. It will only enable when you enable Swarm, it will automatically it gets created. Through this network only, Docker Swarm cluster will be communicated. How it will communicate? I mean, we haven't discussed like how overlay network works. What happens is when you create an overlay network, it will create a tunnel between multiple hosts. We call it IPsec tunnel, IPsec, IPSEC, IPsec tunnel. So through the tunnel, it will communicate. Through the tunnel, it will gets communicated. And there is something called key value data store. By default, we don't see it here. Key value data store something. What happens is it will store the information about the cluster. It's like key value means A is equal to 10, B is equal to like that. It will store the information. So for overlay, that key value data store is required. Of course, we haven't set anything, right? Because it will take it by default. It will set it up by default. Because why we need that? Because so we are talking about cluster. It means multiple servers. But where do we keep information about all the servers? There has to be somewhere. That's what called key value data store. It will store that. So overlay requires that. By default, Swarm enabled it. So we don't need to worry about that also. That's overlay network. It automatically created the overlay. We don't need to create it. So I executed it saying error response. The node is already part of Swarm. Use Docker Swarm leave to leave this and George and join the other one. It says the node is already added. Okay. It's already added. It seems it's fine. Now, like this, I'm saying not just one node. You can add n number of nodes. Sorry, got it right. You can add n number of nodes. Now, how to check whether the node is added or not? See, still there is only one. It's not added yet. Docker. Let's leave. Why I'm leaving? Because I ran the port wrong initially. I think it took that one. Let's run the command again. This node joined a swarm as a worker. Now it's fine. Docker node ls. See, two nodes are there. This is the main, this is the leader. See, what is this? Because this is where we initiate the cluster 10.6. See, this is the manager, leader, blah blah blah, master, like that. This is the node which we just added. Now the cluster have two nodes. If you want to delete it, of course you can delete it. It's fine. If you want, you can leave the swarm group also. Just like I just seen, right? Docker swarm leave. If you don't want this node to be present, of course you can do that also. So this is ID, unique ID, host names of the mission, status, ready, availability, active, manager. Manager is only one manager is there because this guy does not have anything because he's not a manager, just a worker. We added that node. Docker engine version. Availability active. Status ready. Status not ready means that it's up and running. If you see status not ready, it means something is wrong with the node. Maybe it's down or something, or it's not connecting. Availability means whether node is available to run the containers or not. There are multiple things available, like what is it? There are, I think, three states are there for availability. We can change it. Let's say we have active, which is currently it can able to run the containers. Pause, it can't run any new containers, but existing containers will be running. Drain means scheduler we cannot assign any new task. Existing task also will move. There are three things. Why we need three things? You may ask. See, let's say maybe this node, I want to update this node now. Maybe Docker version I want to update or some packages I want to update. Got it? So at the time, if I keep it active, it will accept the container creation. But during update, it may fail, right? So that's why when I update, I make it inactive, like this Docker node update hyphen hyphen availability. Maybe pause. What is it? I can you will use ID or host name, whichever is fine. So what happens now is this, see, the node is paused. So the node is paused. See, means you cannot run new containers in this node. But what if there are any existing containers? Yeah, you can able to use that. Active means you can run the containers. You can make it active again. Same command. Just a minute. Just a minute. హలో క్లాస్లో ఉండ చెప్పేది వాడు పోయినాడు రబ్బీ పోయినాడు ఆల్రెడీ లే లే sorry. Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, you can make it active, or there is one more thing, right? Drain means AR spelling AIN, I believe. So we made it drain. Now the node is in drain state. So what happens is it won't accept any new container running in that machine, as well as if there are existing containers, it will move them to different node. It will move them to different node. See, active means it will accept everything. It will accept to run the containers. Pause means it won't accept the new ones, but existing ones will continue to exist in that machine. Drain means it will move them. It won't accept the new, as well as it will move them to a different node. When we use drain, when we want to update the system itself, when we want to update the system, maybe new version is there, we want to update the package, restart, reboot, and everything. At the time, we'll move it. Got it? So let's, as of now, nothing really. I mean, we no need to drain. So let's make it active again. Yeah, obviously. Got it. Sorry, what's next? So this is about adding a node, how to manage a node. I mean, like, how to say it, how to, once we add to the cluster an active the state availability status, which we can manage through this node. And one more thing also there, you can make this also as a master instead of this. I mean, like promotion, demotion, like kind of thing, which we can able to do. So let's say now this node, let's make it to manager. Let's make it to manager. How to make it? Same the Docker. Sorry, let's clear it. Docker node ls. Docker node promote. Docker node promote. What is the node name? This is the one I want to make it. Promote. Enter. Now let's see. Reachable. Reachable. Why it's saying reachable? What does it mean is, see, now what happened is, this is the leader and this is the manager. See the difference. Leader and manager both are not same here. Leader is the main guy. Manager is next to him. So if leader is dead or leader left, this guy will become the leader. Like next to Kim. If CM dies, another guy will be there right in the line. So like that. So reachable you are seeing because he's ready to be taken over whenever this guy's leader is not available. Got it? Clear? But we cannot make anyone leader. No, it's not possible. Leader by default only one guy, one host. Wherever we initialize the swarm cluster. So only that machine can be leader. All others can be managers. Got it? All others can be managers. When you promote them, they'll be reachable. It means if leader died, they'll take as a leader. By default, you don't do anything. How you do? That's how do you promote. Of course, you don't want him to, make the leader demote. Demotes. Gone. See that this is gone. Like that. Like that, you can manage the nodes. And of course, one final thing, if you want to leave, of course, Docker swarm command is there, right? Here. Let's say you want to leave this host. I mean, the host wants to leave from Docker swarm, away from it. Docker swarm leave, obviously. This, this left, the node left. I mean, this is separate mission now. It's not part of the cluster. But why I'm still seeing this? Because two steps are involved when if you want to remove the no worker or node from cluster. First thing, of course, the swarm leave, you already seen it. Now Docker node rm the id. Now it's completely gone. There is only one mission now. If you want to join back, same thing, that command is there, right? Docker swarm join. This joined as a worker. Check again. It's again joined as a new mission. See the id is different. Simply just that's it. Make it manager. Maybe he wants to become a manager, let's say. Got it. It's ready. That's it. That's how you add notes. That's how you will remove the notes, update their this status you cannot change it. It will be changed based on how your system is there. It is down, is ready, blah blah blah, all these things. So change the availability to run the containers. Change the manager status of, do not cannot change the leader, but can change the manager status. Remove and add the nodes, blah blah. This is the node management in the cluster, Swarm cluster. Now, next thing, the main one, obviously, we want to deploy containers in through the cluster. How the hell we do it? So, sorry, how the hell we do it? Simple. See, when you do Docker run, it will just create a container in this machine. But now you want to create containers within the cluster. You know what command you have to use? Docker service. Docker service you have to use. As I told you, it's service container here in this, it's all same. So these are all the commands are there. I think by now you get it. Create, delete, update service, rollback, scale means increase the container count, decrease the container count. Because it's a cluster, it's available. Let's see now how to create a service. Docker service create, same thing. Just instead of Docker run, we use Docker service. That's it. Docker service create hyphen p. Same thing as I told you, right? 80 colon 80 hyphen name nginx. The service name will be nginx. What is image name? Nginx colon alpine. See, instead, if you just keep Docker run in place of this same command, right? It will be same command only. Few arguments will come extra, I'll tell you. But by the default now it's the same thing. See, it's creating one out of one tasks. Again, tasks also means containers. Don't get confused. Now Docker service ls type. Sorry, Docker service ls. So one service is there. Name is Nginx. Obviously we gave. Image obviously ports 8080. What are these two things? Replicas one by one means how many containers we ran. Of course, so far only one we created. That's fine. What is this mode? Mode. There are two modes in Docker Swarm. When you want to create a container. One is replication mode. It means we can pass the number of containers we want to create. We want to run for the, let's say for Nginx, I want to run 5 containers. You can pass that number, it will create it for you. Where it will create? In the cluster, obviously. In the cluster means there are two servers. In any of the two servers, it will create. That's Docker problem. We don't care about it. Got it, right? So let's say we told 5 containers. Let's how to do it. The container is already running right now. Service is already created. You know how to tell now? Docker's service scale. What is the service name? Nginx. Make it 5. See, one is already running. So 2, 3, 4, 5 it's creating. So now 5 containers are running. 5 containers are running. It's waiting for stability. That's it. It'll check. See, service ls 5 replicas are running. Docker ps 2 are running here. Obviously, see the Nginx. Come on, man. 2 are running here. Obviously, 3 will be running in Docker node. See, 3 are there here. So like that, it will share it, obviously. So this is like you create a service and you want to update, it'll scale it. Let's say now by default, if one container is down for some reason, let's delete it. Let's delete manually. I deleted this container. Now only 4 will be there, right? It should be there 4. So only 4 is there. Wait for a few minutes. Wait for a few minutes. It will create 5. See, this is called high availability. We discussed yesterday. You told, hey, I want 5, it'll maintain the 5. It'll maintain the 5. That's easy it is. That's easy it is. See, I deleted one container. See, it's again created. See the hell it is. See, 30 seconds ago, this was the one created newly. Let's delete two. It will delete. It will create them. I deleted two. See, only 3 by 5. Wait for a second. See, it's created again. The hell it is. That's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about. Got it? Let's say I want to find I okay. Instead of Docker ps minus a, I want to know where the containers are running. It will show you. It will show you. See? Of course, these three containers we deleted it. That's why. But if you observe on this node, this container running, this node, it will show you clearly. Docker service ps. Got it? This is a replication method. By default, let's delete a service. Docker service rm nginx. Obviously now there won't be any. It will be deleted. See, exited less than a minute ago because we deleted the service. Docker service ls. So like this, we create a service in Swarm with 100 containers, 1000 containers. Depends on the requirement. As I told you, 5 containers are enough for our application so that it can handle the incoming traffic. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Maybe 100. And I need 100. I'll create 100 like that. Got it? What I'm saying? So now instead of update, of course, whenever we want, we can update. For Docker service command also we can able to pass. Docker service create, right? Hyphen p 80 hyphen name nginx test. Correct. This is what in image nginx alpine hyphen replicas 3. See, it is just creating only one replica. What's happening is the image name is wrong. Again, I gave hyphen alpine. My bad. So now let's use the create again. That's fine. Nginx colon alpine. Okay, the service is already created earlier, right? Docker service rm. What is it? Nginx hyphen test. Let's do it again. You may see, hey, why I mentioned three replicas, why it is creating only one, then let it ready. It is taking some time. Why it is, why it is still not working? Earlier it was worked, right? Why the hell it was not working now? Observe the command how I gave. Observe the command how I gave. Docker service rm engine circle test. Try to give the replicas before the image itself. Let's see if this works or not. See, now it's working. See, as I told you, remember initially, image name always should be at last. Don't give anything after the image name. But I gave wrong, right? That's why it's confused. See, you gave image name Nginx Alpine. Again, something called replicas. I don't know what is that. Of course, it knows. We're trying to figure it out. But if I gave correctly, see, it created like this three. So after once while creating service as well, you can able to pass the replicas. It will create for you. Or after creating service, also use update. Sorry, scale Docker scale service name the number whatever it is. Got it? Got it. That's how replication works. It's like just give a number. Let's say if you give 100, it will try to create 100, but of course my system cannot handle it. It will crash. But yeah, it can. It will do it. It will do that. So this is one mode, replication mode. There is something called global mode. There is something called global mode. Let's delete this one. There is something called global mode. Global mode means replicated means it will create how many containers what you want. Global mode means if you pass the global command, same command exactly, except replicas we don't need to pass it. Hyphen mode is equal to global. You know what this will do? Let's check it out. You'll understand it. It's created two containers. I Even though I did not told any number. No, why it's created two? Because why the specific number two? Because that many nodes we have, right? That many nodes we have. Observe it. The IDs 3YNQ, GTK 8K. So when you use global, it will create containers based on how many nodes are there. It means in each and every node, for each and every node, it will create one. Now if you see two nodes are there, it means it created two containers, one in each node. See, this is one. Come on. In this machine, there will be one container. Only one. See, that's called global mode. What happens here is depends on the node. How many nodes are there? It will global means it will create only one container in each node. In each node or for each node, you can say it. If you have 100 nodes, if you go for a global mode, it will create only one container. It will create only one container for each and every node. People use this. I mean, we want replicas, right? Let's say in our case only two are there, two containers it cannot handle. We need five or 10. Will it be helpful global? Global will not be helpful for those things because we cannot replicate in global. This global mostly used for any kind of logging agents, monitoring agents, which we haven't discussed yet. What is logging, what is monitoring? But yeah, that will be for those kind of scenarios. It will be present, useful. I mean, global mode. Got it? These two are the modes, service modes we have. One is replicated. By default, it's replicated mode. When you create a service without defining any mode, it will be replicated mode only. You can update it later, Docker scale, service scale, you saw that, right? Correct. And of course, when you want to delete a service, you already seen it. High availability, you already seen it. If you delete one, it will automatically replace it, recreate in that place. So load balancer also here, we don't need to do anything for the load balancing. By default, Docker Swarm handles the load balancing automatically. We don't need to bother about it at all. We won't create anything. So one last thing is that's how I mean we deployed the application of five containers or two containers, whatever it is. Now you access it. Now you access the application based on sir IPs, I mean Docker IP or master IP, I mean the leader IP, and it will accessible for you. The load balancing will be done automatically. Don't worry. Got it? Next, let's say this is your service is running. Now you want to update the image for this because you built a new image. You want to update it. Same thing. Docker service update hyphen image image you want to update, maybe Nginx from Nginx alpha into Nginx latest. As an example, let's say you built in your own image, right? Application V1 you built it. Now V2 is there. Now you'll replace it. You just want to update it so that your new containers will use that image. What is the service name? Nginx hyphen test, I believe. See, it will it is recreating the containers with a new image. We'll see, don't worry. Here it's image Nginx alpha, right? Next it will be Nginx latest. Because it's trying to pull the image, that's why it is taking some time. Don't worry. It's let's see Docker ps minus a. See Nginx latest. It's deleted. It's stopped. See the image is updated. Like that, usually we do deploy. This is a deployment actually. I created a new Docker image. I want to I want to deploy. I mean use that in my what is it? In your service. You update like this Docker service. These commands are all available in documentation. Don't worry. So you can update the image like this. Let's say now I want to go back to Alpine again. Only there is only one way. Again, you have to update it. There is no rollback option by default. There is a rollback option, but it's not as expected here. Got it? That's about Docker Swarm. Now you want to you deployed everything. Load balancer is already there. High availability is also already there. Now I want to leave. Obviously, Docker Swarm leave. See what it is saying when you leave, because this is the manager you're trying to leave. Please check that. Use hyphen force. Now, of course, you have to delete from here, right? Docker node rm. This is the one. See, first we have to demote it and then only delete. Docker node demote. Sorry, remember this always. See, I'm trying to remove one node, but it's saying, hey, what it is saying error. It's a manager, you cannot remove it. So now first we have to demote it and so it will become worker again, right? And then remove it. But it's saying the swarm does not have a leader. Oh, wait, what did I enable? Let's see Docker node ls first. It got stuck. Got it. It's okay. In the manager also, let's leave it. So now Docker swarm won't work. See, there is nothing. Because see, I have deinitialized the cluster now. See what I did to enable the cluster Docker swarm, we need to initialize it. So wherever here I initialized it, so this became the master leader, sorry. I added the other nodes and worked on it. Now I want to deinitialize the cluster because I don't want to use the cluster anymore. Docker swarm leave hyphen 4, same command. What Docker swarm leave command you use in all the nodes. Similar way, use in master also, I mean leader also, the leader node that will deinitialize, I mean remove the swarm cluster. The cluster is gone now, it's not there. What happened to our service? We have service, right? We haven't deleted that. Service also gone. It won't be there because you removed the cluster. It means we haven't removed it, we deactivated it simply. We deactivated it, whatever running in that is gone now. That's how. That's how it is. Got it? That's all about Docker Swarm. So with this, we close with the Docker topic. So there won't be any class tomorrow. We'll start from Tuesday again with a new topic. It's like continuation from this one. So from Docker Swarm, because as I told you, we want to roll. There are a few disadvantages here with Docker Swarm. One thing is rollbacks. I want to roll back to previous version. See, I updated the image from version 1 to version 2. Now I want to roll back, which is not, which possible, but not really a thing, not really good thing in Docker Swarm. And another is scaling, auto scaling. Auto scaling means, let's say I ran 5 containers. Of course, I can increase it manually, right? It's good. But let's say automatically I want to increase that. Maybe the load is increasing. I mean, the load means the traffic, users are increasing, the traffic is increasing. If you see any government website or some results website, on the results day, it will show, right, huge traffic because you can't even open the website. You know why that happens? They don't increase the infrastructure. They may be running 1 or 2 servers and that's it. Even on that huge traffic days, they won't, show anything. That's why the issues like that. Of course, that's a government website. They don't want to pay, but it's fine. So now what happens is like our case auto scaling means based on the traffic, the container should scale up. I mean, so the container count should be get increased like 5, 6, 10, blah blah blah, whatever it is. So that option is not there in Docker Swarm. That's why we don't use Docker Swarm much. We use something called Kubernetes, which we will see in on next class. I mean, next, it's a new tool. Instead of Docker Swarm, we use Kubernetes. Of course, we'll discuss everything. Don't worry, Docker Swarm, blah blah blah, and all these things. Kubernetes. So that we'll see from Tuesday. Got it? So is it clear? Any doubts so far in Docker Swarm? Sir, anything? Again, I telling there won't be any class tomorrow. Let's join from Tuesday. So yeah, anything in the Docker's form before we close it? Yeah, if nothing, we can close the call. I don't want to take too much time on Sundays. Bye. Bye all. Have a nice day. Sunday. Bye.